let me take this time before I bring our guest on. And let me talk with you about inspirational insight. Y'all know I get a lot of my content from working with my clients and trying to find better ways, better solutions in order for them to become better, productive with employees or even accountability of their employees. Now, on today, let me say this. It does deal with accountability. I had one of the directors was telling me that he's new to the position, and I've been training him. He was telling me that. He said, Dr. Woods, I'm having a hard time to getting people to move the way that they need to move, and I think that they are used to moving in a way that is counterproductive, and it makes his job and his assistant's job more difficult. So I know you out there sitting there thinking, well, what are they doing? What are they not doing? Well, they training them on what the expectations are and what needs to be done. They telling them, they showing them, they even asking them to repeat and demonstrate, and they even allow them to fill out incident reports to show that they are not. But the issue comes in hand when it's dealing with real-time situations and the forms are not done as they are supposed to. Now, this is my thing. I asked them, what is the consequence? What you think about that for a moment? What is the consequences for an employee that's not doing what they're supposed to be doing? I know everybody has an answer for that. You know that if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, there should be some type of disciplinary procedures that's put in place. So to sum it up real quick, I just explained to them that it is hard to gain productivity with no accountability. Let me say that again. It is hard, it is difficult to gain productivity without accountability. I don't know about you, it's hard to hold someone accountable to do the right things if there's no accountability. I guarantee you, if they use the discipline progression the way it's supposed to be used, that accountability is going to change. So today, my accountability for you all, not my accountability, my inspiration insight for you all today is be mindful. It is hard to gain productivity without accountability. All right, now, I'm about to introduce my guest. We have Mr. Darrick Starnes with us today. I'm going to turn it over to him and let him introduce himself. We're going to go from there. Mr. Starnes, it's on you, brother.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
No problem.
My name is, as he said, is Darrick Starnes, and I'm the CEO of D&M Apparel, decorating apparel company that started from the ground up, a Black-owned company. I've been in existence for over 17 years. I've been in the industry over 20-something years, and I just developed a passion for decorating apparel.
All right. Let me ask you this. Oh, hold on. Let me bring this to you. Well, explain your emblem.
I couldn't hear you.
Explain your emblem, your shield.
My emblem, all right,
yeah.
Is D&M. The D stands for Darrick, and the M stands for Monique, which is my wife's middle name. Okay. The inspiration behind this logo was one of my childhood friends. He's a graphic artist, and I asked him to create a design with D and M. And the original D&M was me and a friend of mine. We started it, but he ended up going to the military. So, but a childhood friend that grew up in the same neighborhood I grew up in J.C. Neighbor Projects. He's a graphic designer now, which his name is Linwood Hawkins. You need to look him up. He's a very good graphic artist. he created.
Glenwood.
He
Shout out to
created.
Glenwood. From the P.
Yes, he created. He created this logo for me, and I've been with this. I've been having this logo since the beginning. I have never changed it, never tweaked it or nothing.
That's what's up, man. It's a small world. It's a small world. And my uncle used to tell me, you keep living, you're going to see exactly how small the world is.
Yes. Yes.
That's what's up. I appreciate that, man. Let's go ahead and just jump on into some stuff. What do you identify as challenges as being an entrepreneur?
Well, it's 3 of them.
Hold on. Let me interrupt you. Hey, to my audience, if y'all have any questions or concerns that y'all want to ask him, hey, throw it out there. He said he's willing to answer. He's ready. All right, my bad. Go ahead, bro.
Oh no, it's fine. One is raising capital, discipline, staying relevant with your competition, and being a jack of all trades. As a CEO of a small company, you have to do everything. You have to be the seller, you have to be the graphic designer, and also the worker. So as a young entrepreneur, that's one of the first things that I had to learn is discipline myself to be able to make a living and to have generational wealth, to start a future for my grandkids, my kids, so they can move on and take over the business.
Okay, now future wealth. Let me get a couple dollars.
You can get it.
I'm just messing around. All right. Now, what do you find the purpose for starting your business? I know you got the challenges out there, but what really made you put it together?
Fashion. I always loved fashion. I used to watch my older brothers. They go into concerts. They come down. They show up. They got the latest gear. And I'm second youngest of 7 kids. So all my brothers, they dress. My sister, they dress. They always had a passion for fashion. I always had a passion for fashion from watching them. So as me and my younger brother, we would go get T-shirts and take markers. And we were about 10 to 12 years old. We would take markers and design our own shirts. But you know how life is. It turns your direction. And I ended up getting back into apparel business and just loving it, from the customizing the things for other people. Like some of my inspirations was like Carcanine, used jeans, Pele Pale, Dapper Don. We used to create Dapper Don. We used to make have a seamstress to try to copy the things that Dapper Don did, and we would wear it to clubs, and they didn't know the difference, but we was trying to emulate it. We just didn't have the money to do it. So I knew that it was a niche or a market for affordable stuff, you know what I'm saying, for personalized stuff. You have people that has aspirations and dreams to have clothing lines. I wanted to be that person to be able to bring their dreams to fruition, to make sure that they, like I said, I've been in the industry over 20 years. So I know the different materials, the different pricing for the material, what it would cost to put the emblems, either whether it's embroidery, DTF or DTG or whatever form they would want to put on there. I have extensive knowledge of all of that right there. So that was one of my passions. And like I said, who would ever think that a young man from J.C. Napier Projects would come and be a business owner? I always stood on that, because I never let my past ruin my future. You
gotta say that again. Say that one more time. You just spoke a million words, man. I
said I would never let my past destroy my future. So we gonna fall down, but it's a new rapper. I don't know his name, but the name of the song was "I fall down 99 times, but I get up 100." That's me. I do that at all times. You gonna fall, but you got to get up.
And I think that's critical, man, because you got a lot of young entrepreneurs, and I think they get discouraged with falling or don't want to fall. And when I know for myself, when I try to explain to them that falling is part of the process.
Yes.
I very seldom know anybody become successful the first time they walk out the door. I don't know anyone. But you live and you learn. When you fall, you get up and you try something else. You be like, that didn't work, you try something else. But this new generation, man, a lot of them don't want to hear that. They feel that you, as they say, you've been a hater. But all you trying to do is share with them the wisdom. Hey, young brother, no, that's not how that works. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And the more you explain that to them, and they really don't want to hear it, and you hate to just sit back and watch them take them lumps. But sometimes they got to take them.
Yeah, we took them. We took some lumps.
Took them proud.
That's why you still standing now.
Still standing, man. Still standing.
Yes.
And I tell people all the time, man, you get to the point in life, just because somebody was able to be successful in 3 years, that may not be your niche. That may not be your calling. Your calling, you might got to fall down about 55 more times before you finally realize what it is for you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's one of them old things. You can't wear my pants. You don't know my story, so you can't get the glory. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So you got to take your lumps, just like that cartoon with the lion. He's like, how many lumps you want? I don't know, about 2 or 3. But that's being real, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So let me ask you this, Starnes. You talked about working with other people, and I know that you've been dealing with people for years.
Yes.
What are some of the people in the community or clothing lines that's out there now that you have helped them, start or move on, or even printed their shirts and stuff?
Yes. One of the companies I worked with was his name is Jay Spence. He has a clothing line called Cocky. I helped him started that for us printing, but all the ideas and everything was his, but he didn't have a printer to be able to print his needs. So I started off with printing his stuff, and then I have I have a young lady that's a seamstress that needs printing needs. Now her company's name Rocky and Ruth, and she uses my services to do the print jobs, embroidery jobs, to go along, and we collaborate to some of the things that that she her apparel put out. So that's just a few. I have a lot of startup companies that I deal with, like Jean Marie. It's a lot of, I can't think of all of them, but different organizations that I deal with, like I'm on the board at Parkwood Community Club, and when I first got on board, they was having a bill of over $60,000 or $70,000 to pay for athletic wear. Yes, for the uniforms and stuff like this. By me being in the industry, and I was knowing where they was getting the product from, I helped them to reduce their budget for their apparel over 50% of the money they were spending. Because, as you know, if you are working in anything youth or in the community, that you have to raise that money up first, and then you have to pray over it and try to get the rest of the money to pay for the stuff that you need to do. So we came up and come up with a plan to be able to get the uniforms at a fair market price, which really we try to get it below fair market price, because that's the only way that we could make a profit to pay for our scholarships, to pay for extra kids. So we needed that money, so kids that couldn't afford to play at the park, that we already had something in our system that we can afford to pay for the kids that's in there. And just different organizations like that. C4L, we started a Christian CBL. It's a Christian basketball league. We started that. We helped them with their uniforms. Minister Darrell Howard, I worked with him in quite a few of the community things that he do. It's a lot of people out there that I work with. I just can't name them all. And if I did name y'all, man, please forgive me, because I can't remember everybody. Not that I'm boasting or bragging or nothing like this, but I do try to do a lot of work under the radar because I'm not a person that needs to be up front. I don't need to be in the limelight to do community service work, to do things for people. Like even when I do consultations with family unions, the first thing I do is that I like to sit down with them. You go get a used car or something like that, the first thing they're gonna sit down and say, hey, let me see what your credit score is. This is what you're gonna be able to afford right here. So when I go into the community, the different organizations and things that they need, I first sit down with them to see what their needs are. Then we look at their budget. Once we look at their budget, then we can see what type of apparel that they can get for their budget, and always in the mind frame of saving them money, so because we know they're in the community. So we try to, that's what we try to do here at D&M Apparel.
All right, here at D&M Apparel. I'm gonna hop on collaboration in a minute, but while we're here, I just want to hold on. I think we got somebody asking first. They asked, how do you fund your apparel? No, how did you fund your apparel venture?
Okay.
And then they said, are you familiar with crowdfunding?
No, I'm not familiar with crowdfunding, but what I done is my last paycheck, when I decided to quit my job, before I had told my wife that I was gonna quit my job, I set that money aside, and the money that I already had saved up, I gave her, I gave her the money, all of that, to say, hey, this is the money that I have right now to pay the bills, but give me 6 months and we're going to take care of it. But I actually took $1,000, and from that $1,000, I used that as capital to start the business. But what I done is when I got customers, I would have them to put down 50% of the total cost of their job, so I wouldn't be out of as much money if it was if I made a mistake or anything went wrong or anything like that. I could take the cost out of the 50%. So I actually started with $1,000.
Okay. Somebody asked, how do you feel about the practice of funding a startup project? Now,
I tell you, I have a couple of friends that does project manager jobs, and they go around to like young guys that want to start selling houses, building houses, and then they set them up to do that. Now, that sometimes I'm old school. I rather work to get the funding, and then once I got the money in the bank to be able to pay the loan back with my own cash, I would take a loan, because I could leave that capital in the bank and use the money that I loaned, knowing that I got the money to pay it back. That's the only thing about borrowing money. If you don't have the money to pay it back, to me, it's useless to borrow any money from anybody. You're going backwards, especially at a young startup. And if you decide to make a startup company, see how hard they work first before you put money in them. That's what I would do.
Hey, you remember the old saying, growing up in the community, the old age grandfathers and uncles be like, look at him, this out here hustling.
Yes. Well, that's what we done. Like when in our neighborhood, like, for me to get that T-shirt and that the markers for me and my little brother to do the shirts, we would have to go in the neighborhood and knock on doors, ask the older ladies and the older men, could we take their trash out? We never asked them for no money. They knew why we was there. But, we take their trash out. They give us 10 cents, and it adds up. So if you do that every day, the little money that you get, you can spend it on something. Now, we wasn't selling the shirts or nothing like this, but we thought we was cool by making our own shirts.
Let me tell you what's so crazy. That goes back to, if you tell people today about the small steps that you had to, you know what? Let me go here. It's because my slogan is small victories lead to greater success.
Yes.
And the problem is, people want to take Godzilla leaps, but they can only afford and realistically move in smaller pace.
Yes.
And that's really the only way to be successful. And I always use the example of a bodybuilder. I have yet to see a bodybuilder win a competition after the first day.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the first day of working out. I have never seen it. You got to put that time in. All right, let me ask you this. First of all, let me give you a shout out. You do all my shirts. You do all my fraternity shirts and stuff like that. And I was just looking through some of them, man. Someone about 10 years old, 15 years old, and I said, "World, I make your stuff look good."
Yes, you do. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree.
I've been told people, they tell me, "Well, you crack yourself up."
Oh.
But let me ask you this, though. We talked about collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
Most people do not really understand the importance of collaboration.
Yes.
Why is collaboration important?
Well, collaboration helps. Okay. You, like I said, somebody that's in fashion, and they might have their, I'm gonna use Rocky and Ruth for example. She did a cape for a AKA, but she couldn't figure out how to put the inside on there because they didn't want the rhinestones or nothing like that. So I came up with a concept that gave the effect of rhinestones in the cape. There was the full size of the cape and stuff like this. And so when we collaborate like this, they, you know, her customer's gonna ask, well, how did you do that? Or she'll be like, okay, hey, he did this, so maybe he can help you do this. You know,
right.
It's a it was a clothing line. They closed down now, and one of their mottos was, "It's enough money for everybody." And I take that motto to serious because I'm in the apparel business. Somebody else doing t-shirts, they doing this right here. I feel that my extensive knowledge of it, I can help them. Because if you just starting off, because most people in this business start off with a Cricut and a heat press. It's the apparel business is much more than that. It's growing into a major industry. You know, you have like DTF, which is a new format of printing shirts now. You have, you have all these new technologies that's going on. So I try to keep up with that. You know, I know the smaller shirt companies is not going to go to a seminar in Cincinnati, Ohio in the cold, in the winter. You know, I would go to one of them just to see the new product and the new things that they got coming out. You know, I know they out there to sell, but I'm out there to get vision and knowledge of the new technologies and stuff like that.
That's what's up, big dog. You know, because I try to explain to people, man, collaboration, it's hard to do this thing out there by yourself. And yes. One thing that I learned with, having a not-for-profit prior, you have people that say, and I hate to say this because it's always our people, be like, man, when you get out there, just give me a holler. Give me a holler. We're going to work together. They got out there, boy, them jokers almost cussed. Them jokers wouldn't answer phone, return text, and they sure ignored the email. But, man, that taught me that, hey, them ain't the ones for you.
Right.
They're not the ones for you because people don't understand when it comes to business. Man, you got to do this with people. And one of the first things I learned, I was listening to Shaquille O'Neal, man. Shaquille O'Neal talked about the importance of collaboration. And he said when he first got out there and started doing business and stuff, it had nothing to do with him being Shaquille. He had money. He said, I had to learn what other people was doing and how I can help them benefit. And once he learned how he can help other people benefit, then he realized his collaboration grew. And now look at him now. He said, man, the name, he pretty much said, my name itself is going to take me so far.
Right.
So, the importance of collaboration is you have a solo entrepreneur. That's the difference between a solopreneur and an entrepreneur. You can be a solopreneur, but you can only go so far. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You can only do so much by yourself.
Yes.
But until you learn, in order for you to grow, you got to find some collaboration. You got to be able to give and take. And the problem is a lot of people want to give. They want to take, but they don't want to give.
Yes.
And that's not going to work for nobody.
Yes, everybody has to give. Like when I started out, I used to go to the beauty shops and barbershops and churches, and I would say, hey, let me do one shirt, and they'd be like, okay, I do the one shirt. And then they'd be like, okay, give me two shirts, churches would be like, well, we have a logo, but I don't know, and do a sample for them. Them samples turned out to end up being maybe 20, 30 shirts. But when you was talking about the collaboration when it came to the church, I would show them how they can do fundraisers within the church and in the community with the t-shirt business, making them being able to make money for maybe youth day or anything like that. And at the barbershop, they can sell merch. That's one of my companies. I do merchandising just for them. I do all their merchandising, and they sell that to make a profit. So that's a collaboration. It's all sorts of kind of collaboration. Like, sometimes we do the old system, the barter system. You got something that I need, and I have something you need. So we work together and make it work. And then word of mouth. Like when you do things collaborating with different companies, businesses, and things like that, they're gonna put your word out, because if your product is great, they're gonna tell, oh, okay, so and so did that. You're gonna have people that's not gonna like everything that you do. That's in life. Everybody's gonna. I know one of my first big jobs. It was over $500 something, and I didn't have the money at the time, and I paid for the job up front. The people said that they didn't want it, so I had to choke all that money. What I done was I took their stuff, took it to Goodwill, got me a write-off on it, and then when people do you like that, you end up getting more jobs. I end up getting 3 jobs the next week, so it doubled my profit. The money that I lost, it doubled it. So, if you do the right thing, put out a good product, you're not going to please everybody, but you try to please everybody when you're doing anything like this. When you're in the service business anyway, so you got to try to please them. Like they say, the old motto, the customer is always right.
And the trip part about that, man, sometimes people just straight up trifling and just evil. Yeah. And they think what they doing to hurt you, man, it's just making your skin tougher, making you better, and making you go out there and push harder to show them I really didn't need you. I was here for you.
Right.
You know what I'm right. All right, man. I'm about to plug this video right quick. You ready?
All right.
All right, here we go. That's perfect timing, because someone just came in on the private chat and said, they told me to ask you, are you using the social media platform to advance your business into the global market?
That's one thing that I, as we develop and growing, is one of the things that I have to get better at. We're in the process of getting a marketing team to be able to do all our social media, to advertise and do all that. And then, like I said, as a one-stop shop, I have to be vigilant about my marketing, my sales, and the graphic arts and the work. But that is one thing that we have to do. And we're in the process of getting a marketing firm to do the marketing and things like that. Our social media, because it's hard to keep up with, because if in these days and times you have to have an Instagram, you have to have a Facebook page, you have to have an X, you have to have a Twitter, and it's hard for one person to be able to keep up with all them concepts. But you also have to allow your budget to be able to have the money in that budget to pay for all of that right there. So just as well as we growing, we're developing screen printers, we're developing salesmen, and we're getting into the marketing part of it to make sure that we're out there in the world. And that was a great question. And that's one of the things that my team, we had a meeting on last Saturday.
That's what's up. And I can tell you, everything that you just said is very true. It can be difficult at times. But when you finally get that team together, you know what I'm saying? I tell people, man, I think I have a wonderful advisory board. Thank you, Mr. Starnes.
We work well together. We work well
Oh yeah,
together. I
oh
promise
yeah.
you.
I mean, we've been rocking and shaking for years, man.
And you know you had to pull my teeth to get me on this show, though.
I know, man. Because it's part of the collaboration, man.
Mhm.
I'm just the type person, you know. Don't get me wrong. Everything that I have with this platform is always about promoting services for the benefit of employees. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But on the same time, I'm a community involved type person, so I want to always promote my community
Yes.
partners, my people that's really out there doing great work, people that done got knocked down, but did not allow them to be knocked down to keep them down,
Yes.
and to have these stories to come back, man. It's always I don't know if anybody remember Paul Harvey back in the day. Paul Harvey used to be on the radio, and one of the stories that I remember him always talking about, because he always end and holler, and that's the rest of the story.
Story, yes.
But you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing, one of the stories that he would always talk about, that always caught my attention, was the comeback kid, man.
Yes.
And I mean, it's biblical, all up in there, but it's more relative today because, man, there's so many times that you got people in the community that want to knock you down.
Yes.
You got people. You might have somebody that say they might see Starnes and see you doing well, and they don't like you just because you're doing well. It ain't nothing else.
Yes.
And sometimes they put more prosperity on you doing well than you putting on yourself.
Yes.
And so what they do is when they realize that they can't kill you, and I don't mean literally, but kill you mentally, they go get somebody else. And then they go get somebody else. And then they go get somebody else until you got a whole group of people don't like you. And what I realized in life, when you don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I like to turn them into customers.
Man.
They're going to end up loving you anyway.
Because they don't even know why they was hating you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I just always have that personality that I just don't care about what you think of me.
Absolutely.
Because you know, I come from the old school, you know, having a strong grandfather, man. If you're not financing me, and we ain't gonna talk about that other one.
You is crazy.
but just being real, at the end of the day, just because you in your little funk, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna keep living. I'm gonna lay my head down, and I'm gonna let that cool breeze come through that window, and I'm gonna sleep well.
Exactly. And that's the reason why you have to have a good support system. You know, my wife is a very good support system because, like I said, I quit my job, you know, because I had the passion, I had the vision. And you was talking earlier about the young people don't want to do it because they want it so fast. Now, I was thinking like that, but I had a grander vision and I wrote it down and had my plan and tried to stick to that plan. But every day that plan changes, you know, God changes you every day. Every day is not going to be the same. So what I had to do is constantly reinvent myself every day, all day, and in the business because a lot of times I didn't even have the equipment to be able to do the job, but I knew the industry so well and I knew who to go to and how to do it, and I could outsource it. Even if I didn't make nothing but a little money, I knew that I had a client that was going to be satisfied. I took care of all their needs and all of that right there. So sometimes you have to, you know, my hustler mentality come out sometime. You know what I'm saying? Like if I don't have, like I said, if I don't have a piece of equipment that I could do a major job, like one time, I'm be honest with you, I had did a job for Fish University, and it was 300. It was 350 shirts, and it was for one of their annual days. I was so nervous that because I went up there, did the bid, and got it. You know what I'm saying? And it was it was a good price for them, you know, and got the job. As soon as I left out of there, I was like, how am I gonna do this? Because I don't have the equipment to be able to do it. Honest to God, truth. I asked Linwood. I said, Linwood, you the graphic man. You my graphic man. Could you please do this right here? I'm gonna give you your money. I'm gonna give you your money. But by us being, partners when we was young, we grew up in the same neighborhood. We knew what the struggles is. You know, three pair of pants and wear two pair of pants and three shirts. You're gonna have to wear that all week. Make it clean. You know, take it off when you get home from school. So you make sure
Yeah,
you get.
I'm about to
So
say,
we,
oh, you mean for the school year back in the day? Let's
yes
be
sir,
real.
yes sir. And then blue jeans the next year would turn into shorts for the summer. So
But
I.
what
So
you said,
but anyway, um you have to, as an entrepreneur, you have to figure out the best way. So I had made relationships in the business, in the industry, with different print companies, different embroiderers, different things that I didn't have. So I would go and say, and even if it wasn't number like two or three shirts, I always try to keep business with them so they'll know who I was, you know.
correct.
So when I got that job, I went straight to a guy that I knew that was that had a automatic printer, because I wanted to do the job efficiently and fast. Because Linwood had did the shirts. It was a three color, so the guy did my screens for me because I didn't have a way to do the screens, and I printed them shirts. I printed the shirts. He couldn't get me in per se, but he helped me to get over the hump that I needed to get to,
What's
because
up?
I didn't have the like I said, I didn't have the equipment to burn the screens and stuff like that. So he burnt my screens, and I set up two nights in a row. I worked round the clock just to make sure that I made that deadline to get them 350 shirts to Fisk, and took them in my car with a little raggedy two wheeler, and was proudly riding up there to go get that check.
Right, right. But you
you know
know what, man? What I even love even more about the story, man, is one when you go through a struggle and
hmm
you can smile when you done came on the other end of it,
yes.
and you
hmm
knew the struggle that you went through,
hmm
and it's still, even though it was a struggle, but you can
yeah.
look back on the other side of it and be like, that was that hustle. That was
Yeah.
me being determined in order to make it do what it do.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that, man. People got to understand it's okay to go through a struggle. But when you get through and you finally get to that level
hmm
of making it and finding what you identify as successful, man, that's a hell of a feeling. See,
Yeah.
other people would have knocked you down and said, oh, he ain't going to make it.
hmm
But ain't it good that they don't know your God?
Exactly. Exactly. You know, and then, it's like for any of the young people, anything like that. If you have a vision as an entrepreneur, tell your family about this vision. Think about this right here. If you find 100 people in your family and you can let them know that your vision, and they give you $10, you can start your company. You can start your business, but you got to be smart. You got to be frugal with your money. You have to be. You can't go out to the clubs. You can't fan your money. You can't do none of that. You got to hunker down and save that money. That's the main thing, is saving. Saving is one of the hardest things to do, because that's, like I said earlier, discipline. Discipline is the key to being successful.
Off top. All right. Let me ask you this. And you all nervous and talking about, man, no, we ain't on here 15 minutes. Look at you. But
I,
but see, hey, when
I
you
haven't
enjoy
ate.
what you're talking about, you all good. Me neither. So let me ask you this. What is the future of
Okay.
D&M Apparel?
Okay, the future of D&M Apparel is like, now I'm getting into the new innovations of the things of printing, and we're adding things like, they have AI generated graphics, and then, of course, AI marketing that you can get into, enhancing our product. We're offering, next month we're offering engraving services, direct to garment. That's for entrepreneurs that want to get in the screen printing business, that we're offering direct to film, and then we're doing promotional items for like major companies that needs cups, keychains, lanyards, any promotional things that they need. We're next month we're shooting for next month to open up all of them. I know that the engraving and the direct to film is already going to be next month, and then the promotional may be put out another month. Maybe it'll come out in June or July. So we're just really focusing on the future to get this thing elevated to the next level. You know, I have clients in Mississippi. I have clients in DC. I have a lot of clients, but I wanna be one of the major companies that you see on TV. I ain't gonna pub them, but you've seen them. You know, all the promotional companies that sell you pens and cups like this and things like that. That's one of the that's part of our future.
And
And
and and
developing and developing and developing uh not only teaching them on the cricket and all of that right there. That's a small part of the apparel business. You know, I want to teach screen printing. I want to hire individuals to learn how to go sell their product, how to package their product. You know, I just want to be able to I want to sit back. I want to give me some workers where I don't have to print as much no more, and do more selling and teaching, you know what I'm saying, and helping my community.
all right. Well, let me ask you this, and while I ask you this, prepare yourself if you have any questions or things you want to ask me, and it's okay if you don't. I ain't mad at it, but I know you've been busy, and this is the one thing I like to ask everyone: is being as busy as you are, been involved in the community. How do you handle work-life balance?
Oh, that's a hard one. Like I said, as an entrepreneur, especially first starting, getting into the business, you're gonna have long hours, no money, bologna sandwiches, however you have to live. Um, you have to. My main thing is you have to save. You have to save for a rainy day. Save. You have to save. That's one of my main point, and be disciplined in what you do. Discipline will teach you how to save that money, how to come up with creative ideas to be able to maneuver through this market, because everything is going to get high right now anyway. Like I was buying shirts at 128. Now they up to like 310, 340. So the price is changing, and your pricing scale is changing. So you know, you just, like I said, just be disciplined and stay innovative on ways to do things. And I love way the young cats are doing stuff. I'm not a TikTok type person, or a Instagram, all of that right there. And that's the reason why I have to get somebody to do my marketing and things like that.
That's what's up. I appreciate that. So pretty much what you want them to know in dealing with work-life balance and just being successful is know that it's not going to happen overnight, but there's three things that you identify: save,
Mhm.
and save.
Yeah, right. I was hey, exactly. A car gonna break down. The house note is gonna be due to a
Yeah,
license.
it's good.
Yeah. So, you know, in the average entrepreneur, it takes up to at least 5. They say 5 years. I say 5 to 7 years to be able to see a profit, and that's a hard grind for somebody that's not making no money. I'm not saying I didn't make no money, but it's hard to it's gonna take 5 to 7 years for you to be able to see that other side of it, though, and it takes patience.
Man, let me tell you this, and it's funny that you say that about the 5 to 7 years. I talked to this young man about a month ago, and he was talking about the ideal of having a mentor. So I sat down and I told him, I said, well, give me your plan on what it is that you want to do. So he told me what he wanted to do. And I said, well, what do your work life look like? Boy, all I heard was, I'm like, man, you sound like an auctioneer. And I said, now let's be realistic. What I see that you have a plan, you have a goal. And I said, I'm on the outside looking in. You tell me if I'm wrong. To me, it appears, and this is from my observation, that everything that you doing, you putting over in this pot.
Yes.
Now you putting in the pot, but the pot is not being productive yet.
Mm-hmm.
So right now you just out there trying to get your name, buying paraphernalia and all this type stuff. Mm-hmm. And I said, what's going to happen if something hits and go baggy?
Mm-hmm. Equipment breakdown, anything.
And then that's when he told me, well, my car broke down. This happened. And I said, let's sit down and develop a true business plan. I said, this is going to be my one consultation you're going to get for free. I'm willing to, I'm willing to do it. And we did, sat down and done it, man. Nothing. And I just said to myself, you got to allow these young folks to get it for themselves. No matter how much we as, older men, wise men, because, when we was growing up, man, we always had people that always wanted to give you some information, some knowledge, a nugget, and do, and it's up to you to do what you want to do with it. But man, sometimes these cats today, man, they throw that nugget in your face and act like it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But anyway, go back to save, sacrifice, and be disciplined, man. Those were great things. Okay, well, before we wrap it up, do you have anything you want to ask me?
No, I don't have no question, but your night's topic, could you say that one more time? That's the only question I have. Not the night's topic, but your
inspiration and insight.
Yes. Yes, I love that.
It is hard to gain productivity without accountability.
So that's what the young people don't want. They don't want to be accountable. They want it being given to them, and I love that statement.
Yes, I appreciate it, man, because I don't know no other way to say it, man. And my thing is, what's the old saying? Kiss, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
and that's how I lead my company. That's how I lead when I talk to business leaders and everything. Y'all, why are we out here trying to create something that's new? The wheel is still gonna roll. It's gonna roll. You don't need to try to create a square one.
Make it better.
Here's one. Is this business to generate generational wealth, or to eventually sell this project and move on to more ventures? That's a good one.
I wanted for generational wealth. The thing about it is, if you have to look at it like your kids and your family has different visions of what they want to do. So I have to plan for this to be generational wealth. Like have it like a McDonald's that you can plug and play. Like you can go buy a franchise of McDonald's. That's my ultimate goal, is to make sure that this is a print company that anybody can do it. If it's well set up, and but I wouldn't want to sell. But if my kids didn't want to take ownership of it, I would try to franchise it and then make the money at the end and put it in a living will, so they'll always have money. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to sell, but I would want to make generational wealth. And if I have to put that in a trust for them to continue to have generational wealth, when I know that they don't want to run the company, because like my son is a engineer, my daughter is a business major. I mean, she's graduated with a business degree. So they have their own vision of what they want to do in life. And one of the mistakes I think that I made for us is that I didn't make them work hard in my company so they can see my blood, sweat, and tears. But they know the blood, sweat, and tears because they went to college. But to understand the apparel business, well, they could be managers of the apparel business and never touch a shirt.
Right.
My daughter has a business degree. She can be the back office to make sure that the money is always coming in. So, like I said, to the question is that I want to make generational wealth, and I do not want to sell. I wouldn't want to sell.
That's what's up. Let me ask you this as we get ready to wrap up, so you can go eat.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any closing remarks, a quote or something that you want to share with the audience for them to remember you by? And also tell them how they can contact you from your website or however you want them to get it.
My Instagram, both of them, my Instagram and Facebook page is D&M Apparel, both of them. And one thing that I want to tell everybody out there is that I want to provide quality product at affordable prices, because like I said, I've been in the industry over 20 years, and I've seen how they raise up prices on Black people, Black organizations, and triple the money that they make off of us, and then let the other people make you know, make all the money. So my slogan, my motto is to provide quality product at affordable prices.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate you coming on with us today, Mr. And because people your name is Darrick.
Darrick, yeah.
Darrick, because I call you Darrick Starnes. And they're gonna be like,
yeah.
why he misspelled his name? I already know that's coming. So tell him one more time what your name is.
It's Darrick Starnes. Darrick Starnes, but everybody call me Darrick, so it's okay.
That's what's up. So hey, let me give you all this stuff right quick. I'm gonna let you go. Someone just hit and say, "Hey, I can help you develop the generational wealth structure." You know
okay.
Hey, see what I'm saying? Somebody was saying very wise words. Absolute struggling brings lessons.
Yes.
And haters are necessary.
Got to have them. Got to have them. What the Bible said, your enemies is your footstool. So you just stand on your enemy.
Man,
you standing on your enemy.
All right, y'all. I want to
thank you
all. I want to thank Mr. Darrick Starnes for coming on with us. I want to thank you all for, coming in, celebrating, asking questions, and just being a support always. And just remember, small victories lead to greater success. I am Dr. Woods, and you had just been hit by the R.A.W approach.